Hey St. Dominic's family, I'm also making millionaire squares tonight. This is a really good recipe, kind of easy. See ya. So millionaire squares are a layered dessert. So the first layer is like a shortbread cookie, and then the second layer is caramel, and the top layer is chocolate. So first we have to build and bake our cookie base. So flour, icing sugar, butter, mix. Now we use this pastry blender and smush the butter into the flour. It can take a while. All right, now it's ready for the oven. 20 minutes, 350. It's going to be lovely. Okay, our cookie base is done, and I've stuck it up here on the windowsill to cool. Mainly because it's faster, and I kind of want to eat these before I go to bed tonight. And it right now is 8:30. Maybe it'll make it, maybe not. All right, so now comes the part to make the caramel. You are mixing 28 ounces of sweetened condensed milk. Sometimes they come in cans of 14 ounces, sometimes they don't, so you have to measure it out. You add 2 tablespoons of butter, and you cook it for 15 minutes. I won't make you watch the whole thing, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. All right, halfway point, still cooking. It takes forever. All right, so we're most of the way there. It's thick, it's getting caramelly, but it's still not done yet. More to follow. All right, so the caramel is down. It's golden, it's yummy, it makes a horrible sticky mess in the pot, but that's okay. More later. And the final big step is to melt the chocolate down for the top of the squares. It's 12 ounces of chocolate, or 3/4 of a pound if that's what you're using. I have 8 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate and 4 ounces of dark chocolate. All right, so this is what the chocolate's looking like. It's melting nice and slow. Make sure when you melt your chocolate, you pay attention to it or you'll burn your chocolate. And trust me, burnt chocolate tastes kind of gross. You'll have to ignore Lady Willow in the background. She's most upset that I'm not paying attention to her. Make sure when you're melting your chocolate, you do it over a double boiler, which means you have a pot with water underneath. Some people will use a glass bowl in place of this. I do not, mainly because I don't have one that fits. Or do it in the microwave. It's the safest way to melt it. Now this is the end. You have your cookie, your caramel, and now your chocolate. And now we pour. All right, now comes the slow but steady parts, making sure every little bit of it's covered. Notice how I use very small strokes. I'm kind of just letting it flow where it needs to go without touching it a lot. So make sure you hold on to this and give it to somebody to lick, not your dog. All right, so once you put the chocolate out on top, let it sit on the counter for 10 minutes and then stick it in the fridge for no more than an hour and a half, because you don't want the chocolate to get too hard. You just want it to firm up enough that when you cut it, it stays in nice little squares. More to follow. All right, so it has been cooling for an hour in the fridge. So I did cut it up into 24 pieces. Some are in another container. Now it needs to sit till it's firm. Easiest way to know if your chocolate is ready to cut is when you touch it, if you leave a fingerprint. Like this. Make sure your hand's clean before you do that. Put it in a container with a lid, or wrap it tightly with plastic. Stick it in the fridge. Bye for now.